The smartest leaders don't have all the answers. They ask the best questions. In this lesson, we're going to explore how effective questioning can unlock self-discovery, build trust, and drive continuous improvement in your team. One of the most powerful tools in a leader's toolbox is developing others isn't a strategy or a solution, it's a question. When leaders ask the right questions, they can create a space for reflection, ownership, and growth. It's not about having all of the answers. It's about helping others discover them. I remember working with a coach early in my career, and their approach to questioning was, well, let's just say it was less than empowering. Most of their questions were closed, yes or no, or either or type questions. I felt like I was being steered in a direction towards an answer that they wanted me to say, not helping me discover my own. It was frustrating, and I really didn't feel supported. In fact, I felt boxed in. See, that experience actually taught me a critical lesson. Great leaders don't use questions to control, they use them to unlock insight. Open-ended questions like, what do you think is causing this? Or what options do you think we should consider? Invite people to think critically. Questions like that encourage ownership too. They help people reflect on their behaviors and their decisions and the impact of those decisions. And when people arrive at their own insights, they're far more likely to adopt them, buy in, and act on them and own them. See, as a leader, your role isn't to be the smartest person in the room. It's to create an environment where others can think and grow and contribute. And it starts with asking better questions. Open-ended questions. Now, we've heard that term before. It's about guiding discovery, discussions that don't maneuver or manipulate. If you want collaboration, you need to foster an environment where it can thrive. And that begins with wanting to hear what your team has to say. And one way to find out is to ask them questions with the sincerity of wanting to hear their response and listen to what they have to say. So here's your challenge. In your next conversation with a team member or a coaching session, pause before offering advice. And instead, ask a thoughtful, open-ended question. What do you think we need to do? What would you do if you were me? How do you think we can improve this? And then listen. Really listen to what they have to say. That builds trust. Ask yourself, do I intend to give answers or questions? What type of questions do I use? Open-ended questions? Closed-ended questions? How are my questions influencing the way my team thinks and responds? That's an important question to ask yourself. Am I creating space for self-discovery? Or am I directing a conversation towards my own conclusions? Here's an activity I encourage you to consider. Start maybe a question tracker for 1 week. Ask someone in your meeting or someone you coach to keep a log of questions that you ask. And during the meeting or the coaching session, put them on a Post-it note. Or you could even do it yourself and then collect those and categorize them into open-ended questions and closed-ended questions. And at the end of the week, do a bit of a tally. Reflect on how your questions and your style of questioning is building a quality of dialogue and engagement. Because when you ask the right questions, you just don't solve problems. You help people discover and grow. And that's your role as a leader. As you think critically, you want to cultivate champions of continuous improvement. And empowering them by asking the right questions is one way for you to do that. If you got value out of this video, be sure to hit the like button. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe so you don't miss a single module. And if you have any questions about the content, please put them in the comments. I answer every one.